Some breaking news now at noon. A judge throws out state terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Welcome to the Noon and Bianca Peters. That decision came down during Mangione's first court appearance since February. And that's not all we learned today. Let's get right up to Fox 5's Lisa Evers to break all of this down for us. Lisa, we know that you were also there inside of the courthouse when this all happened this morning.
Yes, I was, Bianca. I was there in that packed courtroom here at Manhattan Criminal Court for accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione. He actually got some good news, the judge throwing out the most serious charges he was facing, but let more than half a dozen other charges stand. Now, the 27-year-old Luigi Mangione was escorted into the packed courtroom by about a half a dozen court officers. He was wearing the standard tan inmate uniform, looking like he hasn't had a good night's sleep in a very long time. His hair wasn't combed like we saw in past appearances. He was handcuffed with a chain around his waist and shackled at his ankles. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg had charged him with first-degree and second-degree murder as acts of terrorism and other crimes for the deadly shooting last December of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Judge Gregory Caro ruled that the mere fact that the murder appeared to be motivated by ideology did not qualify it for the more serious first- and second-degree murder by terrorism charges. He is now facing second-degree murder, weapons, and about half a dozen other charges. Outside the courthouse, some of his fans and supporters showed up to support the 27-year-old Ivy League graduate who has a cult following. The Manhattan DA's office issued a statement saying, quote, "We respect the court's decision and will proceed on the remaining counts." Now, we're joined right now by prominent criminal defense attorney and legal commentator Arthur Aidala. And Arthur, was this a good day for him?
Well, it's relative, but I just read the court's 12-page opinion. It's very, very well done. As you know, Lisa, Judge Caro is he's a real veteran of this courthouse. He's been here a long time. He followed his own father's footsteps in this courthouse, and it took a little bit of guts for him to do what he did, but he based it on Court of Appeals decisions which said terrorism, and that's what the prosecutor had to prove here in the grand jury, and what Judge Caro said is terrorism should be defined as narrowly as possible, and using your common sense at what terrorism is. And the judge actually cited September 11th as, that's the definition of terrorism. That's what we think of as terrorism. And an employee killing his employer, or this young man, he just didn't think it rose to that level. Now, is it a good day? Yes, he's no longer facing life in prison, but he's facing 25 to life. And Lisa, I'll say this, if he gets convicted and Judge Caro gives him 25 to life, that means he keeps going up for parole, and I don't think Luigi Mangiane's parole officer has been born yet.
Well, let me ask you this. Oh, so you're going to say this is going to be tied up in the courts for a long time?
And he'll be if he gets 25 to life, forget about the federal case. I don't think a parole board will be letting Luigi Mangione out anytime in the next.
Mangione.
I'm sorry, Mangione. I apologize.
I know you ran from the subway.
I apologize. Yes, I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. So let me ask you this, because this is a question a lot of people have. There's a federal case which is months and months away to get started. So how do you handle when you have a client that's got federal track and state track, because these are state charges?
Yeah, it's definitely not common. It's not normal, just so everybody knows. This isn't like what happens every day. I believe the track we're on now is they're going to try the case here in state court, and then the feds have the ability to try it in federal court. It has happened in some of the cases you covered, the George Floyd case, right? That there the police officer was found guilty in state court, and then he pled guilty, I believe, in federal court. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that Luigi would do something like that here, but that's a long way down the line. And you should expect a vigorous defense from his defense attorneys. Joe Seidman, who's the ADA here, is maybe the most veteran prosecutor in the whole office. I think that's an accurate statement. So, and you're in front of a great judge, so it's going to be a real hard-fought battle.
So if you were defending him, what would be the strategy here?
Lisa, that is a hard question. You asked me a lot of questions. That's a hard question. Obviously, the first thing I would be looking at is if there was any mental disease or defect here on behalf of my client.
Right.
You'd have to do a deep analysis of the video, the videotape, the writings, and all of that. And it is I never lie to you, Lisa. It's not an easy case to defend.
I know.
To be honest.
But let me ask you this: in terms of a case like this, in terms of the mental state, are we talking about looking at any writings that he may have had or evidence? Is there going to be evidence? Is there any way possible that you see like the actual forensic evidence, like the bullet, the gun, the things they would typically use in a murder, could be critical in this case?
So I know the defense attorneys well, but I don't ask them what they're doing because I don't want to be put in a position to violate any trust. But I think they're looking at everything from his mental state and what he's written in his diaries. Is that someone who really understood right from wrong? Did he? I mean, this is a young man from an excellent upbringing and unbelievable education, right? Unbelievable education. Now, he does have those physical ailments, right? At a young age, his back was opened up. They put metal in his spine. What effect does that have on the brain? The brain and the spine are connected. So I don't know if that's an angle that they're looking at, but I do not see Alvin Bragg under any circumstances giving any kind of plea bargain. Just so you know, the judge could go as low as 15 to life, as high as 25 to life, and any number in between if he wanted to get rid of this case. I don't see that happening either. And then there's the federal death penalty case right down the street.
All right, we're going to be following this all very closely. Arthur, thank you for making time to talk with us today.
Always for you, Lisa.
Bianca, that's the latest here from outside Manhattan Criminal Court at 100 Center. Back to you.
All right, Lisa, thanks so much. And